Healthy is the new attractive. How to build confidence through wellness. By T.M. Light. Description: Healthy is the new attractive. How to build confidence through wellness is a powerful and motivational guide to transforming your life from the inside out. This inspiring ebook explores the connection between health, self-confidence, mental wellness, healthy habits, emotional strength, body image, fitness, nutrition, and self-care. Readers will learn how to build lasting confidence through daily wellness practices, positive mindset shifts, and sustainable lifestyle changes. Perfect for anyone seeking personal growth, improved self-esteem, emotional healing, and healthier living, this book encourages readers to embrace progress over perfection and discover that true attractiveness begins with feeling healthy, balanced, confident, and empowered within themselves. Chapter Outline. Introduction: Redefining what it means to be attractive. Chapter 1: The truth about confidence and self-worth. Chapter 2: Healthy habits that change how you feel about yourself. Chapter 3: Nourish your body, nourish your confidence. Chapter 4: Movement as a form of self-respect. Chapter 5: Mental wellness and emotional strength. Chapter 6: The power of sleep, energy, and recovery. Chapter 7: Body image, self-acceptance, and inner beauty. Chapter 8: Relationships, environment, and positive influence. Chapter 9: Building a lifestyle that feels good from the inside out. Chapter 10: Becoming the best version of yourself. Conclusion: Confidence looks better when it's healthy. Introduction: Redefining what it means to be attractive. For many years, society taught us that attractiveness was mostly about appearance. We were told that beauty meant having flawless skin, a perfect body, expensive clothes, or features that matched unrealistic standards created by magazines, television, and social media. Many people spent years chasing an image that was constantly changing, hoping that if they finally looked perfect, they would also feel confident, accepted, and worthy. Yet despite all the pressure to look attractive, countless people still struggle with insecurity, self-doubt, anxiety, and low self-esteem. The truth is that attractiveness goes far beyond physical appearance. Real attractiveness is not something that can be purchased, filtered, or faked. It comes from the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a room, the confidence in your smile, the peace in your mind, and the care you show toward yourself. Healthy is the new attractive because wellness creates a glow that no trend can ever replace. When a person begins to take care of their body and mind, something powerful happens. Their confidence begins to grow naturally. They walk differently. They think differently. They feel stronger emotionally and mentally. Their energy improves, their self-respect deepens, and they stop relying so heavily on the opinions of others. True confidence is born when you start treating yourself like someone who matters. Health creates lasting attractiveness from the inside out. It is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming whole. A healthy lifestyle improves not only your physical appearance, but also your emotional balance, mental clarity, and overall quality of life. When you nourish your body with good food, move regularly, sleep properly, manage stress, and protect your peace, your entire presence changes. You begin to radiate confidence instead of forcing it. Physical health and emotional well-being are deeply connected. When your body feels exhausted, neglected, or constantly stressed, it becomes difficult to feel good about yourself. Low energy often affects motivation, self-esteem, and even relationships. On the other hand, when you feel strong, rested, and energized, your mindset improves. You become more positive, more productive, and more emotionally resilient. You begin to trust yourself more because you are actively investing in your own well-being. Unfortunately, social media has made confidence more complicated for many people. Every day, millions of images are uploaded showing edited bodies, filtered faces, and unrealistic lifestyles. People are constantly comparing themselves to carefully curated versions of reality. This endless comparison has created a generation of individuals who feel pressured to look perfect, while secretly feeling inadequate inside. Many people now measure their worth through likes, comments, followers, or external validation. But confidence built on comparison is fragile. It disappears the moment someone else seems prettier, fitter, richer, or more successful. Real confidence cannot survive if it depends entirely on the approval of others. That is why wellness matters so much. Wellness teaches you to focus inward instead of constantly seeking validation outward. It reminds you that your value is not determined by your appearance, your weight, your age, or the opinions of strangers online. This book is not about becoming perfect. Perfection is exhausting, unrealistic, and often damaging. Self-care is far more important than perfection. Taking care of yourself means honoring your mind, body, and emotions without punishing yourself for being human. It means understanding that growth takes time, and that every healthy choice matters, no matter how small it may seem. Some days you will feel motivated, and other days you may struggle. That is normal. Wellness is not a straight path. It is a lifelong journey filled with learning, setbacks, progress, and self-discovery. What matters most is consistency, not perfection. The goal is not to wake up one day as a completely different person. The goal is to become a healthier, happier, and more confident version of yourself over time. Confidence is often misunderstood as a personality trait that only certain people are born with. In reality, confidence is a lifestyle. It is built through daily habits, daily choices, and daily acts of self-respect. Every time you choose to care for yourself instead of neglecting yourself, you strengthen your confidence. Every healthy meal, every workout, every boundary you set, every hour of sleep you prioritize, and every negative thought you challenge becomes evidence that you value yourself. The beautiful thing about wellness is that it affects every area of life. When you begin taking care of yourself, you start noticing changes far beyond the mirror. Your mindset becomes clearer. Your energy improves. Your emotions become more stable. You stop surviving and start living with intention. You begin to believe that you deserve good things, healthy relationships, peace of mind, and a fulfilling life. Throughout this book, you will learn how to improve your self-image without becoming obsessed with perfection. You will discover habits that support both your physical and emotional health. You will learn how to build lasting confidence through consistency, discipline, and self-care. You will understand how movement, nutrition, rest, mindset, and emotional wellness all work together to create a healthier and more attractive version of yourself. You will also gain something even more important than physical transformation: emotional resilience. Life will always come with challenges, disappointments, and difficult seasons. But wellness gives you the strength to face those moments without losing yourself. It teaches you how to protect your peace, rebuild your confidence, and continue growing even after setbacks. Most importantly, this journey should never begin with guilt or self-hatred. You do not need to hate your current self in order to improve yourself. You do not need to punish your body to deserve confidence. Your wellness journey can begin from a place of self-respect instead of shame. The healthiest transformations happen when you decide that you are worthy of care, love, and attention exactly as you are, while still believing in your ability to grow. Healthy is the new attractive because nothing is more beautiful than a person who feels strong, confident, peaceful, and alive. When you prioritize your wellness, you are not just changing your body. You are changing your relationship with yourself. And that transformation has the power to impact every part of your life. Chapter 1: The Truth About Confidence and Self-Worth. Confidence is one of the most misunderstood qualities in the world. Many people believe confidence belongs only to the naturally attractive, highly successful, wealthy, or outgoing. Some assume confident people never struggle with fear, insecurity, or self-doubt. Others spend years searching for confidence in relationships, achievements, social media approval, or physical appearance, only to discover that none of those things create lasting inner peace. The truth is that confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is not reserved for a special group of people. It is available to anyone willing to develop a healthier relationship with themselves. Real confidence is not about thinking you are better than other people. It is about trusting yourself enough to walk through life without constantly questioning your worth. Confidence begins when you stop measuring your value by outside opinions and start recognizing your own importance. It grows every time you make choices that honor your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It becomes stronger when you learn to accept yourself while still striving to improve. Confidence is not perfection. Confidence is self-belief. One of the biggest mistakes people make is confusing confidence with arrogance. At first glance, they may seem similar, but they are completely different. Arrogance is often loud, defensive, and fueled by insecurity. Arrogant people usually seek attention, superiority, and validation because deep down, they are afraid of not feeling good enough. Their confidence depends heavily on being admired, praised, or seen as better than others. True confidence, however, is peaceful. It does not need to compete. It does not need to tear others down to feel valuable. Confident people are secure enough to celebrate the success of others without feeling threatened. They are willing to learn, grow, and admit when they are wrong because their worth is not fragile. Confidence allows a person to walk into a room without feeling the need to prove themselves to everyone around them. Real confidence is quiet strength. It is the ability to trust yourself even when life becomes difficult. It is believing that you are capable, worthy, and valuable regardless of temporary setbacks or imperfections. Confidence does not mean you never feel nervous or afraid. It simply means fear no longer controls your decisions. Self-worth is deeply connected to confidence. The way you see yourself shapes the way you live your life. If you believe you are unworthy, you may settle for unhealthy relationships, neglect your health, avoid opportunities, or constantly seek approval from others. But when you recognize your worth, you begin to protect your peace, value your time, and make healthier choices. What many people do not realize is that self-worth is built through daily actions. It is not created through motivational speeches alone. It develops when your actions consistently send yourself the message that you matter. Every time you care for your body, prioritize rest, nourish yourself with healthy food, move your body, or set boundaries, you reinforce the belief that you deserve respect and care. On the other hand, constantly neglecting yourself weakens your self-esteem over time. Ignoring your needs, breaking promises to yourself, speaking negatively about yourself, or remaining in toxic situations teaches your mind that your well-being is not important. This is why wellness and confidence are so deeply connected. Taking care of yourself is not vanity. It is an act of self-respect. Many confidence struggles begin long before adulthood. Childhood experiences often shape the way people see themselves. A child who constantly receives criticism, rejection, comparison, or emotional neglect may grow up believing they are not good enough. Hurtful words spoken during childhood can remain in a person's mind for years, silently influencing how they think, behave, and feel. Social conditioning also plays a major role. Society constantly sends messages about what is considered attractive, successful, or worthy. From a young age, people are taught to compare themselves to impossible standards. Many individuals begin to believe their value depends on their appearance, achievements, popularity, or ability to please others. Over time, these beliefs can create deep insecurities. The problem with seeking worth externally is that external validation never lasts. Compliments may feel good for a moment. Praise may boost your confidence temporarily. Attention from others may create short bursts of happiness. But if your confidence depends entirely on outside approval, it becomes unstable. The moment criticism appears, your self-esteem can collapse. This is why so many people constantly chase validation, yet still feel empty inside. No amount of compliments can permanently heal a person who secretly believes they are unworthy. Real confidence must come from within. It must be rooted in self-acceptance rather than public approval. Social media has intensified this struggle for many people. Every day, people compare their lives, bodies, relationships and success to carefully edited versions of reality. They see filtered beauty, luxury lifestyles, and seemingly perfect lives and begin to feel inadequate. What they often forget is that social media usually shows highlights, not reality. Behind many perfect photos are insecurities, struggles, loneliness and pain that remain hidden from public view. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy confidence. When you constantly focus on what others have, you stop appreciating your own growth, beauty and progress. Confidence grows when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not a copy of someone else. Insecurities are a natural part of being human. Everyone has moments where they doubt themselves. However, insecurities become dangerous when they begin controlling your thoughts and decisions. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest confidence killers. Many people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to someone they love. They constantly criticize their appearance, abilities, mistakes, and shortcomings. The words you repeat to yourself matter. Your mind listens to everything you say. If you constantly tell yourself that you are unattractive, weak, or incapable, your confidence will slowly deteriorate. But when you begin speaking to yourself with patience, encouragement, and compassion, your mindset starts to change. This does not mean pretending to be perfect or ignoring areas where growth is needed. It means understanding that growth is possible without self-hatred. You can improve yourself while still respecting yourself. In fact, the healthiest transformations happen when self-improvement comes from self-love instead of self-punishment. Wellness habits have the power to strengthen self-respect in incredible ways. Every healthy habit sends a message to your mind that you are valuable. Drinking water instead of constantly neglecting your body tells yourself that your health matters. Exercising regularly reminds yourself that your body deserves strength and care. Prioritizing sleep tells yourself that rest is important. Setting boundaries tells yourself that your peace deserves protection. These habits may seem small individually, but over time they create powerful internal change. Confidence grows through consistency. It is built one decision at a time. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen confidence is by keeping promises to yourself. Many people lose trust in themselves because they constantly break their own commitments. They promise to start taking care of themselves tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. They set goals but quit at the first sign of difficulty. Over time, this creates disappointment and weakens self-belief. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you build self-trust. Even small promises matter. Waking up when you plan to wake up, drinking more water, taking a walk, reading a few pages, or choosing healthier meals may seem insignificant at first, but each action strengthens your confidence. You begin proving to yourself that you are capable of consistency and discipline. Confidence is not built overnight. It is built through repeated evidence that you can rely on yourself. The more you keep showing up for yourself, the stronger your self-worth becomes. Of course, life is not always easy. Everyone experiences failure, rejection, disappointment, and setbacks. There will be moments when things do not work out as planned. Relationships may end. Opportunities may disappear. Goals may take longer than expected. During these difficult seasons, confidence can feel fragile. However, setbacks do not define your worth. Failure is not proof that you are incapable. Rejection is not proof that you are unlovable. Sometimes life redirects people toward growth they could not yet see. The most confident people are not those who never fail. They are the ones who continue rising after failure. They understand that mistakes are part of growth. Instead of allowing setbacks to destroy them, they use those experiences as lessons that make them wiser and stronger. Rebuilding confidence after pain takes patience. It requires learning to forgive yourself for past mistakes and refusing to let temporary struggles define your future. Healing is not about pretending the pain never happened. It is about believing that your future can still be meaningful, despite what you have experienced. There is incredible strength in starting again. Every day offers another opportunity to care for yourself differently, think differently, and live differently. Confidence is not reserved for people with perfect lives. It belongs to those willing to keep growing, despite imperfections. As you continue through this journey, remember that confidence is not found in perfection, popularity, or external approval. It is built through self-respect, healthy habits, emotional growth, and the courage to believe in yourself even during difficult moments. Your worth has never depended on being flawless. Your worth exists simply because you are human, valuable, and deserving of care. The moment you begin treating yourself like someone worthy of love, respect, health, and peace, your confidence will begin to grow naturally. And once that confidence is built from within, no opinion, rejection, or setback can fully take it away. Chapter 2: Healthy Habits That Change How You Feel About Yourself. The quality of your life is shaped by the things you repeatedly do. Every habit you practice daily is quietly creating the person you are becoming. Whether you realize it or not, your routines are either building your confidence or weakening it. They are either pushing you closer to health, peace, and self-respect, or pulling you deeper into exhaustion, insecurity, and frustration. This is why healthy habits are so powerful. They do more than change your body. They change the way you see yourself. Many people spend years searching for motivation, while ignoring the importance of consistency. They wait for the perfect moment to start improving their lives. They tell themselves they will begin when they feel more inspired, more confident, less busy, or more prepared. But lasting transformation rarely begins with motivation alone. It begins with small daily actions repeated over time. Habits shape identity, because every repeated action becomes evidence of who you believe you are. If you constantly neglect yourself, avoid discipline, and abandon your goals, you may begin to see yourself as lazy, weak, or incapable. But when you consistently take care of yourself, even in small ways, your identity slowly begins to shift. You start seeing yourself as disciplined, capable, and worthy of care. This is one of the greatest secrets of confidence. Confidence is not built through words alone. It is built through action. Every healthy decision you make strengthens your trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you send yourself the message that you are reliable and capable. Over time, these small moments create powerful internal change. The psychological impact of consistent routines is incredible. Human beings thrive on structure, even if they do not always realize it. Healthy routines create stability in a world that often feels chaotic. They reduce mental stress because they eliminate constant decision-making and create a sense of control over your life. When your days are guided by intentional habits instead of random impulses, your mind feels calmer and more focused. There is something deeply empowering about waking up and choosing behaviors that support your growth. A person who begins their day intentionally often carries a different energy throughout the day. Their mind becomes clearer, their emotions become steadier, and their confidence becomes stronger because they are actively participating in their own well-being instead of passively neglecting it. Unfortunately, many people make the mistake of believing they need to completely transform their lives overnight. They create unrealistic fitness plans, strict diets, impossible schedules, and overwhelming goals. For a few days they may feel motivated, but eventually exhaustion sets in and they quit. Then they blame themselves for lacking discipline, when the real problem was trying to change everything at once. Real growth begins by starting small. Small habits may seem insignificant in the moment, but they create momentum. Drinking more water each day may not feel life-changing immediately, but over time it improves energy, focus, skin health, and overall wellness. Taking a short daily walk may seem simple, but it strengthens both physical and emotional health. Going to bed earlier may appear minor, yet it can completely transform mood, productivity, and mental clarity. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Tiny improvements repeated daily create extraordinary results over time. The healthiest transformations are rarely dramatic in the beginning. They happen quietly, through patience and consistency. One of the best ways to support wellness is by creating healthy morning and evening routines. The way you begin and end your day has a major impact on your mental and physical health. A chaotic morning often leads to a stressful day, while an intentional morning creates focus and calmness. A healthy morning routine does not need to be complicated. It can begin with something as simple as waking up a little earlier, drinking water, stretching your body, practicing gratitude, or spending a few quiet moments without immediately reaching for your phone. These small habits help you start the day feeling grounded rather than overwhelmed. Many people begin their mornings by scrolling through social media, immediately exposing themselves to comparison, negativity, stress, and distraction. Before their day even begins, their mind is already overloaded. Protecting your mental space in the morning can dramatically improve your emotional well-being. Evening routines are equally important because they prepare both the body and mind for rest. Many people carry stress, anxiety, and overstimulation into the night without giving themselves time to recover. Poor sleep habits often lead to exhaustion, irritability, low energy, and reduced confidence. Creating a peaceful nighttime routine helps your body relax and recharge. Turning off screens earlier, reflecting on the day, reading something positive, stretching, or simply slowing down before bed can improve sleep quality and emotional balance. Rest is not laziness. Rest is part of wellness. There is also a strong connection between discipline and self-esteem. Many people think discipline is about punishment or restriction, but true discipline is actually an act of self-love. Discipline means choosing what benefits your future, instead of constantly giving in to temporary comfort. Every time you practice discipline, you strengthen your confidence because you prove to yourself that you can trust your own decisions. Discipline teaches you that your goals matter. It reminds you that you are capable of growth, even when motivation disappears. Motivation is temporary. Nobody feels inspired every single day. But discipline allows you to continue moving forward, even during difficult moments. The person who learns to stay consistent despite imperfect circumstances builds incredible inner strength. This does not mean becoming obsessed with productivity or perfection. Healthy discipline includes balance, rest, and compassion. It means learning to show up for yourself consistently, without destroying your peace in the process. Some of the simplest wellness habits have the greatest impact on confidence. Hydration, sleep, and movement are often overlooked, yet they influence nearly every aspect of emotional and physical health. Your body needs water to function properly. Dehydration can affect energy levels, concentration, mood, and even skin health. Something as simple as drinking enough water each day can improve how you feel mentally and physically. When your body feels better, your confidence naturally improves as well. Sleep is another essential part of self-care. A person who is constantly exhausted often struggles emotionally, mentally, and physically. Lack of sleep increases stress, reduces focus, weakens emotional control, and drains motivation. Many people underestimate how much rest affects confidence. When you are well rested, you think more clearly, manage emotions better, and feel more capable throughout the day. Movement is equally powerful. Exercise is not only about changing appearance. It is about improving energy, strength, mood, and mental resilience. Physical movement releases stress, improves emotional balance, and strengthens the connection between body and mind. You do not need extreme workouts to benefit from movement. Walking, dancing, stretching, cycling, yoga, or simple home workouts can all improve wellness. The goal is not punishment. The goal is care. When you move your body consistently, you begin appreciating it more, instead of constantly criticizing it. Breaking unhealthy habits is also an important part of growth. Many people carry shame about their bad habits, whether it involves overeating, negative thinking, procrastination, lack of movement, poor sleep, or emotional coping patterns. But shame rarely creates lasting change. In fact, shame often keeps people trapped in unhealthy cycles because they begin believing they are incapable of improvement. Real change begins with honesty and compassion. You cannot heal habits by constantly attacking yourself. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" begin asking, "What healthier behavior can I practice today?" Growth happens when you focus more on progress than punishment. It is important to understand that unhealthy habits usually develop for a reason. Some habits are formed through stress, emotional pain, loneliness, boredom, fear, or survival. This does not mean those habits should continue, but it does mean you deserve patience while changing them. Healing is not about becoming perfect overnight. It is about learning healthier ways to care for yourself. One of the most motivating parts of wellness is discovering the power of small daily wins. Every positive choice creates momentum. Making your bed, drinking water, completing a workout, choosing healthier meals, or simply following through on one promise to yourself can improve your mindset more than you realize. Small wins build confidence because they create evidence of progress. They remind you that growth is happening, even if the results are not immediately visible. Over time, these daily victories create powerful momentum that makes bigger goals feel possible. Momentum changes everything. Once you begin consistently caring for yourself, healthy choices start feeling more natural. Your energy improves. Your mindset becomes more positive. Your confidence grows because you begin seeing yourself differently. You no longer feel trapped in old patterns because you are actively creating a healthier identity. The key to long-term wellness is sustainability. Temporary habits create temporary results. This is why extreme diets, unrealistic routines, and self-punishing approaches often fail. True wellness must fit into your real life. It must support your peace instead of constantly exhausting you. Creating sustainable habits means understanding balance. It means learning that missing one workout does not mean failure. Eating one unhealthy meal does not erase your progress. Having difficult days does not mean you should quit. Consistency matters more than perfection. Long-term wellness also requires patience. Modern culture encourages instant gratification, but real transformation takes time. Your body, mindset, confidence, and habits will not change overnight. However, every healthy choice is an investment in your future self. There will be moments when progress feels slow. Some days you may feel discouraged or tempted to return to old habits. During those moments, remember why you started. You are not building these habits simply to look different. You are building them to feel stronger, healthier, more peaceful, and more confident. Every healthy habit is a form of self-respect. Every small positive decision is proof that you are choosing growth over self-neglect. Wellness is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the healthiest and happiest version of who you already are. You deserve routines that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. You deserve habits that bring peace instead of guilt. You deserve a life where confidence is not forced, but naturally developed through consistent self-care. The person you become is shaped by the choices you make daily. Every healthy habit is helping create a future version of yourself who feels stronger, more energized, emotionally balanced, and confident from the inside out. That transformation does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens quietly, one healthy decision at a time. Chapter 3: Nourish your body, nourish your confidence. The relationship you have with food often reflects the relationship you have with yourself. For many people, eating has become filled with guilt, pressure, confusion, and emotional struggle. Instead of seeing food as nourishment, they see it as the enemy. Meals become associated with fear, shame, or punishment, rather than health, energy, and care. Over time, this unhealthy mindset damages not only physical wellness, but also confidence and emotional peace. The truth is that food is not meant to control your life. It is meant to support it. Food is fuel. It is one of the ways your body receives the nutrients, energy, and strength it needs to function properly. Every healthy choice you make with food is an act of self-respect. When you nourish your body properly, you begin to feel stronger physically, clearer mentally, and more balanced emotionally. That inner improvement naturally changes the way you see yourself. Many people spend years trying to punish their bodies into becoming acceptable. They starve themselves, follow extreme diets, obsess over calories, or develop unhealthy eating habits because they believe confidence only comes after physical perfection. But confidence built through self-punishment is fragile. Real confidence grows when you begin treating your body with kindness, instead of constantly fighting against it. Your body is not your enemy. It carries you through life every single day. It deserves nourishment, care, patience, and respect. Healthy eating should never feel like a form of suffering. It should feel like an investment in your future health, energy, and happiness. One of the biggest challenges many people face is emotional eating. Food is often connected to emotions more deeply than people realize. Some eat when they are stressed, lonely, anxious, bored, heartbroken, or overwhelmed. Others lose their appetite completely during difficult emotional seasons. Food can become a coping mechanism because it temporarily provides comfort, distraction, or relief. Emotional eating does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. Many unhealthy eating patterns develop because people are trying to soothe emotional pain they do not know how to process in healthier ways. The problem is that emotional eating often creates a cycle of temporary comfort, followed by guilt and frustration. People eat to escape emotional discomfort, then feel ashamed afterward, which only increases emotional stress. Healing your relationship with food begins with understanding your emotions instead of judging them. Instead of asking yourself why you lack control, begin asking what your body and emotions are truly needing in those moments. Sometimes you may not need more food. You may need rest, connection, peace, encouragement, or emotional healing. Learning emotional awareness is one of the most important parts of wellness. When you become more aware of your feelings, you stop using food as your only source of comfort. You begin finding healthier ways to care for yourself emotionally, whether through journaling, movement, rest, therapy, prayer, meditation, conversation, or simply allowing yourself to feel emotions instead of suppressing them. Another major problem in modern society is toxic diet culture. Everywhere people are being told they must shrink themselves to be worthy, attractive, or successful. Extreme diets promise rapid transformation, while encouraging unhealthy relationships with food. Many people are taught to fear carbohydrates, avoid entire food groups, obsess over weight, or constantly chase unrealistic body standards. Diet culture often creates the illusion that health is only about appearance. But true wellness goes far beyond weight or body size. A person may look fit on the outside, while struggling emotionally, mentally, or physically on the inside. Real health includes emotional balance, mental peace, energy, strength, and sustainability. Toxic dieting often damages confidence because it creates constant pressure and disappointment. People begin believing they are failures whenever they cannot maintain impossible standards. They develop guilt around eating and shame around their bodies. Instead of enjoying food and nourishing themselves, they become trapped in cycles of restriction and frustration. True wellness is not about starving yourself into confidence. It is about creating a balanced lifestyle that supports your body and mind for the long term. Healthy eating should improve your life, not control it. Balanced nutrition means learning moderation instead of obsession. Your body needs a variety of nutrients to function properly. It needs proteins, healthy fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and hydration. Extreme restriction often leaves people exhausted, irritable, mentally drained, and emotionally unstable. A healthy relationship with food allows room for balance. It understands that one meal does not define your health. One unhealthy choice does not erase your progress. Wellness is built through consistent patterns over time, not through perfection. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is learning to focus on how food makes you feel, instead of only how it makes you look. Certain foods increase energy, improve focus, stabilize mood, and support emotional well-being. Others leave you feeling sluggish, tired, anxious, or emotionally drained. When you begin paying attention to how your body responds, healthy eating starts becoming a form of self-care rather than punishment. Foods rich in nutrients support both physical and mental health. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, lean proteins, nuts, seeds, and plenty of water all help your body function more effectively. Proper nutrition improves concentration, emotional balance, skin health, energy levels, and even sleep quality. These improvements naturally strengthen confidence because you begin feeling better from the inside out. Many people underestimate how deeply nutrition affects the brain. The food you eat influences your mood, focus, memory, and emotional stability. Constantly feeding your body processed foods, excessive sugar, or unhealthy eating patterns can affect energy and mental clarity more than you realize. On the other hand, nourishing your body properly often improves emotional resilience and overall well-being. Gut health also plays a major role in emotional health. The gut and brain are closely connected. Many scientists now refer to the gut as the second brain because of its influence on mood and mental health. When your digestive system is unhealthy, it can affect emotional balance, stress levels, and even anxiety. This is why taking care of your body, nutritionally, is not just about physical appearance. It is also about protecting your emotional and mental wellness. When people begin eating healthier consistently, they often notice emotional changes before physical ones. They feel more energized, focused, positive, and emotionally stable. Their confidence improves because they feel more connected to themselves. They begin developing pride in the way they care for their bodies. Healthy eating also improves self-image naturally. This does not mean your confidence should depend entirely on appearance, but there is nothing wrong with feeling proud of yourself when you are taking care of your health. When you consistently nourish your body, you often feel stronger, more refreshed, and more vibrant. That inner sense of wellness reflects outwardly in your posture, energy, and overall presence. The goal is not to obsess over looking perfect. The goal is to feel healthy, alive, and confident in your own skin. There is a huge difference between changing your lifestyle because you hate yourself and changing it because you value yourself. Sustainable wellness always grows from self-respect, not self-hatred. Building a healthy relationship with food requires patience because many people have spent years trapped in unhealthy thinking patterns. Some were taught to associate food with guilt from childhood. Others learned emotional eating through stressful environments. Some developed body insecurities from social media, criticism, or comparison. Healing takes time. It requires learning to trust yourself again. It means allowing food to become nourishment instead of emotional warfare. It means understanding that enjoying meals is part of life, and that balance matters more than restriction. One of the healthiest things you can practice is mindful eating. Many people eat while distracted, stressed, rushed, or emotionally overwhelmed. They rarely slow down enough to listen to their body's signals. Mindful eating encourages awareness. It teaches you to pay attention to hunger, fullness, emotions, and how certain foods affect your body and mind. Mindful eating also helps reconnect you with gratitude. Every healthy meal becomes an opportunity to nourish yourself instead of criticize yourself. You begin appreciating your body rather than constantly attacking it. Self-awareness is one of the greatest tools for lasting transformation. The more aware you become of your habits, emotions, triggers, and patterns, the more power you gain to make healthier choices. Lasting wellness is not created through fear or punishment. It is created through understanding yourself deeply enough to care for yourself better. There will be days when you make unhealthy choices. There will be moments when you overeat, skip healthy meals, or struggle emotionally. That does not mean you have failed. One moment does not define your entire journey. The key is learning to respond with compassion instead of shame. Shame often leads people deeper into unhealthy cycles. Compassion creates room for growth. You are far more likely to build sustainable habits when you encourage yourself instead of constantly criticizing yourself. It is also important to stop comparing your wellness journey to others. Every body is different. Every person's metabolism, lifestyle, emotional history, and health needs are unique. Your goal should never be to become someone else. Your goal is to become healthier and stronger for yourself. The journey toward wellness is about more than food. It is about learning to value yourself enough to care for your body consistently. It is about choosing nourishment over neglect. It is about creating habits that support your peace, energy, confidence, and long-term health. When you begin feeding your body with care instead of punishment, something powerful happens inside you. You stop viewing yourself as a problem that needs fixing. You begin seeing yourself as someone worthy of love, health, and respect. Healthy eating is not about chasing perfection. It is about building a life where your body and mind feel supported, instead of constantly exhausted. It is about waking up with more energy, thinking more clearly, feeling emotionally balanced, and developing confidence that comes from truly caring for yourself. The food you eat every day is either strengthening you or weakening you. It is either supporting your wellness or working against it. Every meal becomes an opportunity to choose health, healing, and self-respect. Over time, those choices create not only physical transformation, but emotional transformation as well. When you nourish your body, you nourish your confidence. And when your confidence begins growing from a place of wellness instead of insecurity, it becomes far more powerful, lasting, and real than anything external could ever provide. Chapter 4: Movement as a Form of Self-Respect. For many people, exercise has become connected to punishment instead of self-care. They work out because they hate their bodies, feel guilty about eating, or believe they must earn the right to feel confident. Movement becomes something painful, stressful, or emotionally exhausting, rather than something empowering and life-giving. This unhealthy mindset has caused many people to develop a negative relationship with fitness, making wellness feel like a burden instead of a blessing. The truth is that movement was never meant to punish you. Your body was designed to move, stretch, grow stronger, and function with energy and vitality. Exercise is not a punishment for your appearance. It is an act of self-respect. Every time you move your body, you are investing in your health, protecting your future, and strengthening both your physical and emotional well-being. Changing the way you think about exercise can completely transform your relationship with wellness. Instead of asking yourself how quickly movement can change your appearance, begin asking how movement can improve your life. Exercise has the power to increase energy, improve mood, reduce stress, strengthen confidence, sharpen focus, and support long-term health. Those benefits are far more meaningful than chasing unrealistic beauty standards. When movement comes from self-love instead of self-hatred, it becomes sustainable. You stop viewing exercise as something you are forced to do, and begin seeing it as something that helps you feel alive, capable, and strong. This shift in mindset is powerful, because the healthiest fitness journeys are not built on punishment. They are built on care. Exercising for health, energy, and confidence creates a completely different experience than exercising only for appearance. A person who works out solely to become acceptable often struggles emotionally, because their confidence depends entirely on physical results. They may constantly criticize themselves, compare their bodies to others, or feel discouraged whenever progress seems slow. But when you move your body to feel stronger, healthier, and more energized, your motivation becomes deeper and more lasting. You begin appreciating exercise for how it improves your life, instead of only how it changes your body. Your focus shifts from insecurity to empowerment. One of the most beautiful things about movement is the emotional healing it can provide. Physical activity does not only transform muscles, it transforms the mind. Many people discover that exercise becomes a safe space where they release stress, process emotions, and reconnect with themselves. Movement creates emotional release because the body and mind are deeply connected. When you exercise, your body releases chemicals that improve mood and reduce stress. This is why many people feel mentally lighter, calmer, and happier after physical activity. Exercise helps reduce anxiety, emotional tension, and mental exhaustion. Even a short walk can improve emotional balance and clear the mind during difficult moments. Stress and anxiety have become incredibly common in modern life. Many people carry emotional pressure every day without realizing how deeply it affects their health. Constant stress drains energy, weakens focus, affects sleep, and damages emotional wellness. Over time, it can leave people feeling disconnected from themselves and overwhelmed by life. Movement helps interrupt that cycle. Physical activity gives your mind a chance to breathe. It helps release built-up tension and shifts your focus away from overthinking. Whether it is walking outside, stretching quietly, dancing freely, or lifting weights, movement allows you to reconnect with the present moment instead of remaining trapped in stress and worry. Exercise also strengthens emotional resilience. Every time you challenge yourself physically, you build mental strength as well. You learn discipline, patience, and perseverance. You discover that you are capable of doing difficult things, even when discomfort appears. This growth carries over into other areas of life. The confidence developed through movement often improves relationships, work ethic, emotional control, and overall self-belief. One of the most important things to understand is that movement does not look the same for everyone. There is no single perfect way to exercise. Different people connect with different forms of movement, and that is completely okay. Wellness should fit your life and personality, instead of forcing you into routines you hate. Walking is one of the simplest yet most powerful forms of movement. Many people underestimate the impact of walking because it seems too easy, but walking improves cardiovascular health, boosts mood, reduces stress, and increases energy. A daily walk can become a peaceful moment of reflection, gratitude, and emotional reset. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is simply step outside, breathe fresh air, and allow your body to move naturally. Strength training is another powerful form of self-care. Lifting weights or using resistance exercises helps build physical strength, improve posture, increase energy, and support long-term health. But beyond the physical benefits, strength training teaches confidence. There is something deeply empowering about realizing your body is becoming stronger. Each workout becomes proof that growth is possible through consistency and effort. Strength training also helps many people develop a healthier relationship with their bodies. Instead of focusing only on appearance, they begin appreciating what their bodies can do. They stop viewing their bodies as decorations and start recognizing them as powerful tools capable of resilience and strength. Yoga offers a different kind of transformation. It combines movement, breath, mindfulness, and emotional awareness. Yoga encourages connection between the body and mind, helping people slow down and become more present. In a world filled with constant noise, pressure, and distraction, yoga provides stillness and healing. Many people who struggle with stress or anxiety find comfort in yoga because it teaches them to breathe through discomfort instead of running from it. It reminds people that wellness is not only about physical strength, but also about emotional peace. Dancing is another beautiful form of movement because it brings freedom and joy into wellness. Dancing allows people to express themselves emotionally while moving their bodies naturally. It breaks the idea that exercise must always feel serious or difficult. Dancing can improve mood, confidence, coordination, and emotional release all at once. Sports also provide incredible physical and emotional benefits. Whether it is football, basketball, tennis, swimming, cycling, or any other activity, sports teach teamwork, discipline, resilience, and focus. They remind people that movement can be fun, social, and energizing instead of stressful. The goal is not to force yourself into exercise you hate, simply because it is popular. The goal is to find movement that makes you feel alive. When you enjoy the way you move, consistency becomes much easier. Movement also changes the way you see your body. Many people spend years criticizing their appearance, without appreciating everything their bodies do for them daily. Exercise helps shift that mindset. Instead of only focusing on flaws, you begin noticing strength, endurance, flexibility, and progress. Body appreciation grows when you stop treating your body like an enemy. Every workout becomes a reminder that your body is working hard for you. Your legs carry you through life. Your arms help you lift, create, and connect. Your lungs breathe for you every moment. Your heart continues beating through every challenge you face. The more you move with gratitude instead of criticism, the more your confidence grows naturally. You begin respecting your body, rather than constantly trying to punish it. One of the biggest mistakes people make in fitness is believing intensity matters more than consistency. Many people start with extreme routines that are impossible to maintain. They push themselves too hard, become exhausted, and eventually quit completely. Then they feel discouraged and blame themselves for lacking discipline. But wellness is not built through short periods of extreme effort. It is built through consistency over time. A person who exercises moderately and consistently for years will experience far greater results than someone who repeatedly starts and stops intense routines. Small, consistent actions always create lasting transformation. Even 20 minutes of movement each day can improve physical and emotional health dramatically over time. The goal is not perfection. The goal is sustainability. There will be days when you feel tired or unmotivated. There will be seasons where life becomes stressful and routines become difficult. That is normal. Consistency does not mean never struggling. It means continuing to return to healthy habits, even after difficult moments. Another major challenge many people face is gym intimidation and comparison. Walking into a gym can feel overwhelming, especially for beginners. Some people fear judgment, embarrassment, or not knowing what they are doing. Others compare themselves to people who seem more experienced, fit, or confident. It is important to remember that everyone starts somewhere. Every strong, healthy, confident person was once a beginner too. Nobody begins their journey perfectly. Growth takes time, patience, and repetition. Comparison steals joy from progress. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you ignore your own growth. Someone else's body, fitness level, or journey does not determine your worth. Your focus should remain on becoming healthier than you were yesterday, not becoming identical to someone else. Most people at the gym are far more focused on themselves than on judging others. And even if someone does judge you, their opinion does not matter more than your health and happiness. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to grow. You deserve to improve your life without fear of what others think. Creating a realistic fitness lifestyle is one of the most important parts of long-term wellness. Fitness should support your life, not consume it completely. Unrealistic routines often create burnout because they leave no room for balance or enjoyment. A healthy fitness lifestyle understands flexibility. It allows room for rest, enjoyment, social life, and real-world responsibilities. It recognizes that missing one workout does not erase your progress. It understands that health is a lifelong journey, not a temporary challenge. Your movement routine should energize you, instead of constantly exhausting you. It should improve your confidence, instead of making you feel guilty. It should become part of your lifestyle, rather than something you repeatedly quit, because it feels impossible to maintain. Most importantly, movement should remind you that your body deserves care. Every time you exercise, stretch, walk, dance, or move intentionally, you are sending yourself a message that your health matters. You are proving that you value your future enough to protect it. Confidence grows when you consistently care for yourself. The stronger, healthier, and more energized you feel, the more naturally your self-esteem improves. Movement teaches you that your body is capable, resilient, and worthy of appreciation. You do not need to become perfect to begin. You do not need the perfect body, perfect schedule, or perfect motivation. You simply need the willingness to start where you are. Every step, every workout, every stretch, and every healthy choice matters. Your body is not a project to hate. It is a life to care for. And when you begin moving from a place of self-respect instead of self-criticism, fitness stops feeling like punishment and starts becoming one of the greatest acts of love you can give yourself. Chapter 5: Mental Wellness and Emotional Strength. True wellness begins in the mind. No matter how healthy a person may appear physically, emotional exhaustion and mental struggle can silently affect every area of life. Many people spend years focusing on their appearance while neglecting their inner well-being. They work hard to improve their bodies, but ignore the stress, anxiety, emotional wounds, and mental pressure they carry every day. Over time, this imbalance drains confidence, weakens self-worth, and steals peace. Mental wellness is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Your thoughts shape your emotions, your decisions, your habits, your relationships, and the way you see yourself. A healthy mind creates strength, clarity, resilience, and confidence. An unhealthy mind often creates fear, self-doubt, emotional instability, and exhaustion. This is why emotional health deserves just as much attention as physical health. Confidence and mental wellness are deeply connected. When your mind is constantly overwhelmed with negativity, insecurity, stress, or anxiety, it becomes difficult to feel confident in yourself. You may begin doubting your abilities, criticizing your appearance, fearing rejection, or believing you are not good enough. On the other hand, when your mind is emotionally balanced and healthy, confidence grows naturally because you begin trusting yourself more. Many people think confidence only comes from achievements, appearance, or success, but lasting confidence is often built through emotional stability. A peaceful mind creates a stronger person. When you are mentally healthy, you handle challenges differently. You recover from setbacks more effectively, make better decisions, and stop allowing every opinion or difficulty to control your emotions. One of the biggest threats to mental wellness today is chronic stress. Many people live in a constant state of pressure, without even realizing how deeply it affects them. They wake up overwhelmed, rush through their days exhausted, and go to sleep mentally drained. Their minds rarely get time to rest. Over time, stress becomes normalized even though it slowly damages emotional and physical health. Stress affects far more than mood. It impacts sleep, energy, concentration, digestion, relationships, and confidence. When stress remains unmanaged for too long, it can lead to burnout and emotional exhaustion. Burnout happens when a person becomes mentally, emotionally, and physically depleted from carrying too much pressure for too long without proper recovery. Many people experiencing burnout continue pushing themselves because they believe resting means weakness. They ignore the emotional warning signs until they feel completely disconnected from joy, motivation, and peace. They become irritable, emotionally numb, exhausted, and overwhelmed by even small tasks. Burnout often leaves people feeling like they are surviving life instead of living it. Emotional exhaustion can also make people lose confidence in themselves. When your mind is constantly tired, it becomes harder to stay positive, productive, or emotionally balanced. You may begin doubting your abilities, simply because your mind no longer has the energy to function properly. This is why rest and recovery are essential parts of wellness, not optional rewards after exhaustion. Anxiety and overthinking are also major struggles that affect confidence. Anxiety often causes people to constantly fear the future, imagine worst-case scenarios, and question themselves excessively. Overthinking creates mental noise that drains emotional energy and steals peace. A person may replay conversations repeatedly, fear making mistakes, or constantly seek reassurance because they no longer trust themselves. Over time, anxiety can damage self-esteem because it convinces people they are incapable, unsafe, or inadequate. It makes simple decisions feel overwhelming, and causes people to become trapped in fear instead of growth. Many individuals miss opportunities, avoid relationships, or hide their true potential because anxiety has convinced them they are not enough. The problem with overthinking is that it rarely creates solutions. Instead, it often creates confusion, fear, and emotional paralysis. The mind becomes so crowded with worry that it loses clarity. This is why mental wellness requires learning how to calm the mind instead of constantly feeding fear. Developing emotional resilience is one of the most powerful things you can do for your confidence and well-being. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover from challenges without completely losing yourself. It does not mean you never feel pain, sadness, or disappointment. It means difficult moments no longer destroy your identity or your hope. Life will always include challenges. There will be heartbreak, rejection, loss, failure, stress, and unexpected difficulties. No amount of wellness can completely remove pain from life. However, emotional resilience gives you the strength to keep moving forward without allowing pain to define you permanently. Resilient people understand that struggles are temporary, even when they feel overwhelming. They know that setbacks do not erase their value. Instead of collapsing every time life becomes difficult, they learn, adapt, heal, and continue growing. Emotional strength is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about believing you can survive hard moments and still rebuild your peace afterward. One of the most effective ways to strengthen mental wellness is through mindfulness and self-awareness. Many people live on autopilot, constantly distracted by stress, technology, responsibilities, and outside pressure. They rarely pause long enough to truly understand what they are feeling emotionally. Mindfulness teaches you to slow down and become present. It allows you to observe your thoughts without immediately becoming controlled by them. Instead of constantly worrying about the future or replaying the past, mindfulness brings your attention back to the present moment. This simple shift can reduce anxiety significantly. Many anxious thoughts are rooted in fear about things that have not even happened yet. Mindfulness reminds you that right now, in this moment, you can breathe, reflect, and regain control over your emotional state. Self-awareness is equally important because you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Becoming emotionally aware helps you recognize your triggers, unhealthy patterns, emotional needs, and thought habits. The more you understand yourself, the more empowered you become to create healthier responses instead of repeating destructive cycles. Many people avoid emotional awareness because they are afraid of what they might discover. But healing begins with honesty. Facing your emotions does not make you weak. It makes you courageous. Ignoring emotional pain only allows it to grow silently beneath the surface. Rest and recovery are also critical parts of emotional wellness. Modern society often glorifies constant productivity while treating rest like laziness. Many people feel guilty for slowing down, even when they are emotionally exhausted. But the human mind was never designed to function endlessly without recovery. Just as the body needs sleep to heal physically, the mind needs rest to recover emotionally. Constant mental stimulation, stress, social media, work pressure, and emotional overload can leave people feeling disconnected and drained. Rest allows your nervous system to calm down and recharge. Sometimes healing begins with simply allowing yourself to pause. Rest can look like sleeping properly, spending quiet time alone, taking breaks from technology, going outside, praying, meditating, reading, or simply giving yourself permission to breathe without guilt. You do not need to earn rest through exhaustion. You deserve rest because you are human. Taking care of your mental health is not selfish. It is necessary for long-term wellness. Journaling is another powerful tool for emotional healing and self-awareness. Many people carry heavy emotions inside because they never allow themselves to express them properly. Thoughts build up, emotions remain suppressed, and stress continues growing internally. Writing creates emotional release. Journaling allows you to process thoughts honestly without fear of judgment. It helps organize emotions, identify patterns, and gain clarity during confusing or stressful seasons. Sometimes the simple act of putting emotions into words can reduce emotional pressure significantly. Journaling also helps strengthen self-awareness because it allows you to reflect on your growth, struggles, fears, and goals. Over time, you may begin noticing patterns in your thinking or emotional triggers that were previously hidden. This awareness creates opportunities for healing and growth. Another essential part of mental wellness is learning to set healthy boundaries. Many people struggle emotionally because they constantly sacrifice their peace to please others. They say yes when they want to say no. They tolerate disrespect, emotional manipulation, and unhealthy relationships because they fear rejection or conflict. But protecting your peace is part of self-respect. Boundaries are not about being cruel or selfish. They are about recognizing that your emotional health matters too. Healthy boundaries teach people how to treat you, while protecting your energy from constant emotional damage. Without boundaries, people often become emotionally drained because they give too much of themselves without recovery. They carry the weight of everyone else's expectations while neglecting their own needs. Over time, this leads to resentment, exhaustion, and emotional burnout. Setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to prioritizing everyone else before yourself. Some people may not understand your growth, and others may resist your boundaries because they benefited from your lack of them. But choosing peace over people-pleasing is one of the healthiest decisions you can make. Mental wellness also requires letting go of toxic environments and relationships. Some environments constantly feed negativity, stress, insecurity, or emotional pain. Some relationships leave you feeling emotionally exhausted, criticized, manipulated, or unappreciated. Staying in unhealthy spaces for too long can slowly destroy your confidence and emotional health. The people around you influence your mindset more than you realize. Constant negativity can shape your thinking, lower your energy, and affect your self-worth. This is why protecting your environment is part of wellness. Letting go of toxic relationships can be painful, especially when emotional attachment exists. But not every relationship is meant to remain in your life forever. Some people are lessons, not lifelong assignments. Choosing distance from harmful environments does not make you selfish. It makes you wise enough to protect your emotional well-being. Healing sometimes requires creating space between yourself and anything that constantly damages your peace. This may include negative friendships, unhealthy romantic relationships, stressful environments, or even harmful habits and thought patterns. As your mental wellness improves, your confidence will begin changing naturally. You will stop needing constant approval, because your peace will matter more than validation. You will trust yourself more, because your mind will no longer be controlled entirely by fear or insecurity. You will become emotionally stronger, because you will realize that your value does not disappear during difficult moments. Mental wellness is not about becoming emotionally perfect. You will still have difficult days, emotional struggles, and moments of stress. Healing is not linear. Growth takes time. But every step you take toward emotional health strengthens your ability to handle life with greater peace and confidence. You deserve a mind that feels safe, calm, and supported. You deserve emotional freedom from constant self-criticism, fear, and exhaustion. Your mental health matters just as much as your physical health, and caring for your emotional well-being is one of the greatest forms of self-love. The stronger your mind becomes, the stronger your confidence will grow. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you begin trusting your ability to survive challenges without losing yourself in the process. Emotional strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to continue healing, growing, and protecting your peace no matter what life brings. Chapter 6: The Power of Sleep, Energy, and Recovery. In a world that constantly glorifies hustle, busyness, and non-stop productivity, rest has become deeply misunderstood. Many people treat sleep like a weakness and recovery like wasted time. They push themselves beyond their limits, ignore exhaustion, and wear burnout like a badge of honor. Society often praises people for being constantly busy, while quietly ignoring the emotional, mental, and physical damage that chronic exhaustion creates. But the truth is simple and powerful. You cannot build a healthy, confident, and balanced life while constantly running on empty. Rest is not laziness. Sleep is not weakness. Recovery is not failure. These are essential parts of wellness, emotional stability, and self-respect. Your body and mind were never designed to operate endlessly, without restoration. Just as your phone needs charging, and your muscles need recovery after movement, your mind and body need proper rest to function at their best. Without rest, even the strongest person eventually becomes exhausted emotionally, mentally, and physically. Many people underestimate how deeply sleep affects confidence and overall well-being. When you are well rested, your mind becomes clearer, your emotions become steadier, and your body functions more efficiently. You think better, feel more patient, respond to stress more calmly, and carry yourself with greater energy. Sleep affects nearly every part of your life, including mood, motivation, focus, appearance, and emotional resilience. On the other hand, when you are constantly sleep-deprived, everything feels harder. Your thoughts become heavier. Your patience becomes shorter. Your emotions become more unstable. You may feel irritated, anxious, distracted, emotionally sensitive, or mentally drained without fully understanding why. Chronic exhaustion slowly weakens confidence because tired minds struggle to think positively and clearly. Mood is one of the first things affected by poor sleep. A tired brain has a harder time regulating emotions. Small problems begin feeling overwhelming. Stress becomes harder to manage. Negative thoughts become louder. A person who is exhausted often becomes emotionally reactive because their mind no longer has the energy to process challenges calmly. This is why proper sleep is so important for emotional balance. Rested minds are stronger minds. When your body receives the sleep it needs, your emotional resilience improves naturally. You become more capable of handling stress, disappointment, and difficult situations without feeling emotionally destroyed by them. Sleep also affects focus and mental clarity. Many people walk through life mentally foggy because they are constantly tired. Lack of sleep affects memory, concentration, creativity, and decision-making. Tasks that should feel manageable suddenly become exhausting. Motivation decreases because the brain is struggling to function properly. When your energy improves, your entire outlook on life begins changing. You become more productive, more optimistic, and more emotionally stable. You stop merely surviving the day and begin participating in your life with greater intention and presence. Even physical appearance is affected by sleep. Chronic exhaustion often shows through dull skin, low energy, dark circles, poor posture, and a tired overall presence. People often spend large amounts of money trying to improve their appearance, while neglecting one of the most powerful forms of beauty and wellness available to them: proper rest. True attractiveness is deeply connected to energy. A well-rested person often carries a different kind of glow. Their eyes look brighter, their mind feels sharper, and their confidence becomes more natural because their body is functioning properly. Wellness always reflects outwardly over time. There is also real science behind energy and recovery. During sleep, the body repairs itself physically and mentally. Muscles recover, hormones regulate, memory strengthens, and the nervous system resets. Sleep supports immune health, emotional regulation, brain function, and physical healing. Without enough rest, the body struggles to perform these essential processes properly. This is why exhaustion affects so many areas of life at once. The body cannot fully recover when it is constantly deprived of sleep and recovery. Over time, this creates mental fatigue, emotional instability, weakened focus, and physical burnout. Many people try to overcome exhaustion with caffeine, sugar, or constant stimulation, but these only provide temporary energy while the deeper problem remains unresolved. True energy does not come from forcing yourself beyond your limits. It comes from properly caring for your body and mind. Chronic exhaustion has become so common that many people no longer recognize how unhealthy it is. They accept feeling constantly tired as normal because they have lived that way for so long. But living in a constant state of fatigue slowly damages mental health. Exhaustion increases anxiety, irritability, stress, and emotional overwhelm. It becomes harder to think positively when your body and brain are depleted. Many people become emotionally discouraged, not because they are incapable, but because they are deeply exhausted. Tired people often lose motivation for things they once enjoyed. They withdraw emotionally, struggle with confidence, and feel disconnected from themselves. Even healthy habits become harder to maintain because exhaustion weakens discipline and emotional strength. This is why creating a healthy sleep routine is one of the most powerful things you can do for your wellness journey. Sleep should not be treated as an afterthought. It should become a priority. Healthy sleep routines begin with consistency. Your body responds well to regular sleep patterns. Going to bed and waking up around the same time each day helps regulate your internal clock and improves sleep quality. While perfection is unrealistic, consistency creates stability for both the body and mind. Your nighttime environment also matters. Many people carry stress, noise, stimulation, and distractions into bed with them. Bright lights, loud environments, excessive screen time, and mental overstimulation make it harder for the brain to relax. Creating a calm evening routine signals to your body that it is time to slow down and recover. One of the biggest obstacles to quality rest today is digital overload. Modern life is filled with constant notifications, social media scrolling, entertainment, news, and endless information. Many people spend their final moments before sleep staring at screens that overstimulate the brain and increase mental stress. Social media, in particular, can quietly damage emotional peace at night. Endless comparison, emotional content, negative news, and constant stimulation keep the mind active instead of calm. Many people go to sleep emotionally overwhelmed because their brains never truly get a chance to disconnect. Reducing digital overload is one of the healthiest things you can do for your mind. Creating boundaries around technology allows your nervous system to relax. Even setting aside a short amount of screen-free time before bed can improve emotional balance and sleep quality significantly. Instead of ending the day with endless scrolling, you can choose activities that calm the mind and body. Reading, journaling, stretching, praying, meditating, listening to peaceful music, or simply sitting quietly for a few moments can help prepare your body for rest. Managing stress is also essential for improving sleep and recovery. Many people lie in bed physically tired, but mentally restless. Their bodies are exhausted, but their minds remain active with worry, fear, responsibilities, or overthinking. Stress management does not mean eliminating every problem from life. It means learning healthier ways to process pressure, instead of carrying it endlessly. Deep breathing, mindfulness, physical movement, journaling, therapy, prayer, and healthy conversations can all help release emotional tension. Sometimes the greatest form of self-care is allowing yourself to slow down long enough to acknowledge how much pressure you have been carrying. Many people are emotionally overwhelmed because they never give themselves permission to pause. Recovery is not only physical. It is emotional and mental as well. You may need recovery from stress, heartbreak, disappointment, emotional pressure, or burnout. Healing requires time and patience. Constantly pushing yourself without recovery only delays wellness. One of the healthiest mindset shifts you can make is understanding that recovery is productive. Rest allows growth to continue. Athletes understand this deeply. Muscles become stronger not only during training, but also during recovery. The same principle applies emotionally and mentally. Sometimes growth happens during stillness. Unfortunately, many people feel guilty when they rest. They believe slowing down means falling behind. They feel pressure to always be productive, available, and constantly moving. But a life without rest eventually becomes unsustainable. Learning to slow down without guilt is part of emotional maturity and self-respect. Resting does not mean you are weak, lazy, or unmotivated. It means you understand that your well-being matters. You are not a machine designed to perform endlessly without care. Slowing down allows you to reconnect with yourself. It gives your mind room to breathe and your body room to heal. It reminds you that life is not only about productivity. It is also about peace, presence, health, and emotional balance. There is strength in knowing when to pause. There is wisdom in recognizing your limits before burnout forces you to stop completely. Taking care of yourself today protects your future health, energy, and confidence. The healthiest people are not always the busiest people. Often they are the ones who understand balance. They know how to work hard while still protecting their peace. They understand that rest is part of wellness, not separate from it. When you begin prioritizing sleep, energy, and recovery, your entire life begins changing. Your confidence grows because your body and mind feel supported, instead of constantly depleted. Your emotions become more stable. Your focus improves. Your relationships strengthen, because you are no longer emotionally exhausted all the time. Most importantly, you begin treating yourself with greater kindness. You stop seeing rest as something you must earn, and begin understanding that recovery is part of being human. You deserve to feel energized, emotionally balanced, and mentally clear. You deserve nights of peaceful rest, and days filled with greater focus and vitality. Your body works hard for you every single day. It deserves care, restoration, and patience. Wellness is not only about movement, nutrition, or productivity. It is also about knowing when to slow down. The more you respect your need for sleep and recovery, the stronger, healthier, and more confident you become from the inside out. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your wellness journey is simply rest long enough to heal. Chapter 7: Body Image, Self-Acceptance, and Inner Beauty. The way you see your body has the power to shape the way you experience your entire life. Body image is not only about appearance. It is about the thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and judgments you carry about yourself every single day. For many people, body image struggles begin quietly and grow over time through comparison, criticism, rejection, and unrealistic expectations. Eventually, these struggles become so normal that people forget what it feels like to simply exist in their bodies without shame. Many individuals spend years fighting against themselves. They avoid mirrors, criticize photographs, hide behind oversized clothing, obsess over flaws, or constantly compare themselves to others. Some refuse to enjoy life fully because they are waiting to finally feel good enough. They postpone confidence, happiness, relationships, opportunities, and self-love until they believe their bodies are acceptable. But confidence was never meant to depend on perfection. Your life is too valuable to spend it constantly at war with yourself. Healing your body image begins with understanding that your worth has never been determined by your appearance. Body image struggles are incredibly common because society constantly teaches people to focus on flaws instead of value. From a young age, many people are exposed to unrealistic beauty standards that quietly shape the way they see themselves. They learn to believe that beauty only belongs to certain body types, certain skin tones, certain facial features, or certain sizes. Over time, these messages become internalized. Some people grow up hearing criticism about their weight, shape, skin, or appearance from family members, classmates, or strangers. Others develop insecurities after painful experiences involving bullying, rejection, or comparison. Social media has only intensified this struggle by creating an endless stream of edited images and unrealistic lifestyles that make ordinary people feel inadequate. The danger of comparison is that it steals peace from the present moment. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you stop appreciating your own uniqueness. You begin measuring your value against impossible standards, instead of recognizing the beauty that already exists within you. The truth is that many beauty standards are unrealistic and constantly changing. What society praises today may be criticized tomorrow. Trends come and go. Appearance standards shift over time. Chasing external approval through appearance is exhausting because there will always be another trend, another expectation, or another impossible standard to meet. Real beauty cannot be fully defined by trends because true attractiveness goes deeper than physical appearance. It is reflected through energy, confidence, kindness, authenticity, emotional peace, and the way a person carries themselves. Some of the most attractive people in the world are not necessarily those with perfect appearances. They are the people who feel comfortable in their own skin and radiate confidence from within. Social media has made body image struggles more difficult for many people because it creates constant exposure to unrealistic images. Filters, editing apps, lighting tricks, cosmetic procedures, and carefully selected angles create versions of reality that often do not even exist naturally. Yet people compare themselves to these images every single day. Many individuals begin believing they are unattractive simply because they do not look like edited content online. They forget that social media often shows highlight reels, not reality. Behind many perfect photos are insecurities, struggles, editing, and pressure that remain hidden from public view. The more time people spend consuming unrealistic content, the more disconnected they may become from appreciating themselves. Comparison slowly damages self-esteem because it teaches the mind to focus on what is lacking instead of what is already valuable. This is why protecting your mental environment matters. The content you consume influences how you feel about yourself. Constant exposure to negativity, comparison, or unrealistic beauty standards can quietly shape your self-image over time. Learning to limit unhealthy comparison is part of emotional wellness. One of the most healing mindset shifts you can make is learning to appreciate your body for what it does, instead of only how it looks. Your body is far more than an object to be judged. It carries you through life every single day. Your heart beats without asking for recognition. Your lungs breathe for you continuously. Your legs carry you from place to place. Your hands create, hold and connect. Your body allows you to experience life itself. When you begin focusing on function instead of only appearance, gratitude slowly replaces constant criticism. You begin realizing that your body deserves appreciation for all the ways it supports you daily. This does not mean you must suddenly love every part of yourself overnight. Healing body image takes time. But learning to respect your body is a powerful beginning. Respect creates space for healthier habits, emotional peace, and long-term confidence. Self-acceptance is often misunderstood. Many people believe accepting themselves means giving up on growth or abandoning healthy goals. But true self-acceptance does not mean refusing to improve yourself. It means choosing growth from a place of love instead of shame. There is a major difference between wanting to improve your health because you value yourself and trying to change yourself because you hate yourself. One mindset creates healing, while the other creates emotional suffering. You can work toward becoming healthier, stronger, or more confident, while still accepting your current worth. Your value does not increase only after physical transformation. You are already worthy of respect, care, and love during the process. Some people delay self-love until they reach a certain weight, size, or appearance. They tell themselves they will finally feel confident once they look different. But confidence built entirely on appearance often remains fragile, because external changes alone cannot heal internal insecurity. Lasting confidence comes from learning to value yourself beyond physical appearance. It grows when you recognize that your worth is rooted in who you are, not just how you look. Healing negative body thoughts requires patience, because many insecurities have existed for years. Some people have spent so much time criticizing themselves that negative thinking has become automatic. They look in the mirror and immediately focus on flaws. They speak about themselves harshly, without even noticing how damaging their words have become. The way you speak to yourself matters deeply. Your mind listens to every word you repeat. If you constantly insult your appearance, compare yourself negatively, or focus only on imperfections, your confidence will slowly weaken. But when you begin practicing kinder self-talk, your mindset starts changing over time. Speaking to yourself with compassion does not mean pretending you are perfect. It means refusing to become your own bully. You deserve the same kindness you would offer someone you love. Imagine speaking to a close friend the way many people speak to themselves. Most would never criticize someone they care about so harshly. Yet they repeat cruel thoughts about themselves daily. Healing begins when you start becoming more aware of your inner dialogue. Replacing negative thoughts with compassionate ones may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if criticism has been your normal pattern for years. But every time you challenge destructive thinking, you create space for healthier beliefs to grow. Compassion also means allowing yourself to be human. Your body will change throughout life. There will be seasons of stress, aging, growth, healing, and transformation. Chasing perfection is impossible, because perfection does not exist. Real confidence comes from learning to appreciate yourself, even during imperfect moments. Authenticity is another important part of inner beauty. Many people spend years trying to become versions of themselves they think others will approve of. They hide parts of who they are, pretend to fit unrealistic expectations, or constantly seek outside validation. But pretending to be someone else often creates emotional exhaustion and insecurity. True confidence grows when you stop trying to earn acceptance by abandoning your authentic self. There is freedom in becoming comfortable with who you truly are. Authentic people often appear more attractive because they are no longer consumed by constant performance and comparison. Authenticity allows peace. You stop living under the pressure of trying to impress everyone around you. You stop measuring your worth through external approval. Instead, you begin building confidence based on self-respect and emotional honesty. Inner beauty becomes visible through the way a person treats themselves and others. Kindness, emotional strength, peace, confidence, resilience, and authenticity create a type of attractiveness that cannot be replicated through appearance alone. Physical beauty may catch attention temporarily, but inner beauty creates lasting impact. This is why some people remain unforgettable regardless of appearance. Their energy, confidence, and authenticity leave deeper impressions than physical perfection ever could. Building confidence regardless of size, shape, or appearance is one of the most empowering journeys you can take. Society often sends the message that confidence belongs only to people who fit certain standards. But confidence is not reserved for one body type. Every person deserves to feel valuable, respected, and worthy exactly as they are while continuing to grow and care for themselves. Confidence begins when you stop waiting for permission to love yourself. You do not need to become flawless before allowing yourself to feel joy, wear what you love, take photos, pursue relationships, or live fully. Life is happening now, not after perfection. There will always be people who judge appearances, because judgment exists everywhere. But your confidence cannot depend on universal approval, because no human being receives that. The goal is not to please everyone. The goal is to build a relationship with yourself strong enough that outside opinions no longer define your worth. As you continue your wellness journey, remember that your body is not the enemy. It is your lifelong home. It deserves patience, care, movement, nourishment, and kindness. You deserve to feel peace in your own skin. Healing body image does not happen in one day. Some days may still feel difficult. There may still be moments of insecurity, comparison, or self-doubt. But every time you choose compassion over criticism, gratitude over shame, and authenticity over comparison, you move closer toward freedom. You are more than a reflection in the mirror. You are more than a number on a scale. You are more than society's beauty standards. Your worth cannot be measured by appearance alone, because your value goes far deeper than physical features. True beauty shines brightest when confidence, wellness, peace, and authenticity come together. And when you begin seeing yourself through the lens of self-respect instead of constant criticism, you discover a kind of confidence that no trend, opinion, or comparison can ever take away. Chapter 8: Relationships, Environment, and Positive Influence. The people around you have a powerful influence on the person you become. Whether you realize it or not, your relationships, conversations, and daily environment shape your mindset, habits, emotional health, and confidence. Human beings are deeply connected creatures. We absorb energy, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors from the people we spend the most time with. This is why relationships can either strengthen your wellness journey or quietly destroy it. Many people focus heavily on improving themselves physically, while overlooking the impact of their environment. They work on healthier habits, emotional healing, and self-growth, but they remain surrounded by negativity, criticism, unhealthy influences, or emotionally draining relationships. Over time, these environments begin pulling them backward. True wellness is not only about what you eat or how often you exercise. It is also about the emotional atmosphere surrounding your life. Peaceful, encouraging environments help people grow. Toxic environments slowly weaken confidence, motivation, and emotional balance. The way people treat you affects the way you begin to see yourself. Supportive relationships encourage growth, healing, and self-belief. Healthy people remind you of your value during difficult moments. They celebrate your progress without jealousy, and encourage your wellness without making you feel guilty for improving your life. On the other hand, unhealthy relationships often leave people emotionally exhausted. Draining individuals criticize growth, disrespect boundaries, create unnecessary stress, or constantly project negativity. Over time, being surrounded by emotionally unhealthy people can make you question your worth and weaken your confidence without you even realizing it. One of the most important life skills you can develop is learning to identify the difference between supportive people and draining people. Supportive individuals inspire peace. You feel emotionally safe around them. They encourage honesty, healing, and self-improvement. They respect your goals, your boundaries, and your emotional well-being. Draining people often have the opposite effect. You may feel emotionally tired after spending time with them. Some constantly criticize, complain, manipulate, compete, or create unnecessary drama. Others dismiss your feelings, mock your goals, or make you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. Over time, relationships like these become emotionally heavy. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to remain forever. Some people support your growth, while others resist it because your improvement reminds them of areas in their own lives they have neglected. This is why personal growth sometimes changes relationships. When you begin prioritizing wellness, confidence, peace, and emotional healing, some people may not understand your changes. They may question your boundaries, criticize your habits, or become uncomfortable with your growth. But growth often requires separating yourself from environments that no longer align with the person you are becoming. This does not mean abandoning people carelessly or believing everyone must be perfect to deserve connection. Healthy relationships still involve flaws, disagreements, and difficult moments. But there is a major difference between imperfect relationships and consistently toxic ones. Relationships should not constantly drain your peace, confidence, or emotional energy. Community also plays a major role in personal growth. Human beings thrive when surrounded by encouragement and connection. Isolation often weakens motivation, while supportive communities strengthen it. This is why finding people who inspire healthier habits and positive thinking can transform your life. Being around growth-minded individuals naturally influences your mindset. When you surround yourself with people who prioritize wellness, discipline, emotional health, and personal development, their habits often inspire you to grow as well. Their energy reminds you that positive change is possible. This influence works both ways. Negative environments can also shape unhealthy habits. If you are constantly surrounded by people who normalize self-destruction, negativity, unhealthy lifestyles, or emotional chaos, those patterns can slowly become normal to you as well. Your environment matters more than you may realize. The places you spend time, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume, and the people surrounding you all influence your mental and emotional state. Creating environments that support your goals is one of the smartest things you can do for your wellness journey. A healthy environment does not need to be perfect or expensive. It simply needs to support peace, focus, and growth. A clean space, calming atmosphere, positive influences, and healthy routines can significantly improve emotional well-being. Small environmental changes often create big mental shifts. Even your digital environment matters. Social media, entertainment, and online interactions influence your thoughts daily. Constant exposure to negativity, comparison, toxic opinions, or unrealistic standards can slowly affect confidence and emotional health. Protecting your mind from unhealthy influences is part of protecting your peace. Social pressure is another challenge many people face while trying to build healthier lifestyles. Sometimes the people around you may encourage unhealthy habits because they are uncomfortable with change. They may pressure you to abandon your goals, ignore your boundaries, or return to behaviors that no longer support your growth. It can be difficult to stay committed to wellness when unhealthy choices are constantly normalized around you. Some people may mock healthy eating, criticize emotional growth, or make you feel too serious for protecting your peace. But not everyone will understand your healing journey, and that is okay. Growth often requires courage. It requires choosing long-term wellness over temporary approval. You cannot build a healthier life while constantly sacrificing your values to fit into unhealthy environments. Sometimes confidence means being willing to stand alone temporarily, rather than constantly betraying yourself to please others. Communication is also an important part of healthy relationships and emotional wellness. Many people struggle emotionally because they suppress their feelings, avoid difficult conversations, or fear being honest about their needs. Over time, unspoken emotions create resentment, frustration, and emotional distance. Healthy communication creates stronger relationships because it allows honesty, understanding, and emotional safety. Speaking openly about your feelings, needs, and boundaries is not weakness. It is emotional maturity. Emotional honesty also strengthens self-respect. When you constantly silence yourself to avoid conflict or rejection, you slowly teach yourself that your feelings do not matter. But when you communicate clearly and respectfully, you reinforce the belief that your emotions deserve acknowledgement. Of course, not everyone will respond perfectly to honesty. Some people may become defensive or uncomfortable when boundaries are introduced. But healthy relationships grow stronger through communication, while toxic relationships often become threatened by it. Protecting your peace and energy is one of the most important forms of self-care. Many people lose themselves emotionally because they constantly give their energy away without boundaries. They absorb everyone else's stress, solve everyone else's problems, and neglect their own emotional needs. You are not responsible for carrying the emotional weight of the entire world. Caring about others is healthy, but constantly sacrificing your peace to rescue everyone else eventually leads to burnout. Protecting your energy means learning when to step back, rest, and prioritize your own well-being. This may involve limiting time with emotionally draining individuals, saying no more often, avoiding unnecessary conflict, or creating healthier boundaries around your time and emotional availability. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary for long-term emotional health. One of the most transformative decisions you can make is becoming intentionally influenced by people who prioritize growth. The people you admire and spend time with influence your future more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, excuses, and emotional chaos, those patterns eventually affect your thinking. But when you spend time around disciplined, emotionally healthy, motivated, and positive individuals, you begin learning from their mindset and habits. Growth becomes more natural because your environment supports your development instead of resisting it. This is why mentorship, friendships, healthy communities, and positive role models are so valuable. They remind you that healing, confidence, discipline, and emotional wellness are possible. They challenge you to grow without shaming you for being imperfect. Healthy relationships are rooted in encouragement and respect. Encouragement has incredible power. Sometimes a few supportive words can completely change the direction of someone's life. Encouraging people inspire confidence because they remind others of their potential, instead of constantly focusing on flaws. Respect is equally important. Healthy relationships respect boundaries, emotions, individuality, and personal growth. They allow people to feel safe enough to be authentic, without fear of constant judgment or emotional manipulation. The healthiest connections are not built on control, competition, or insecurity. They are built on trust, honesty, compassion, and mutual support. They create environments where people can grow into healthier versions of themselves together. As your wellness journey continues, you may notice your relationships changing. Some connections will deepen because they support your growth. Others may fade because they were built around unhealthy patterns you are now leaving behind. This process can feel emotional, but it is often necessary. Growth sometimes requires distance from environments that no longer align with your peace. It requires choosing relationships that nourish your spirit, instead of draining it constantly. You deserve connections that inspire healing, confidence, and emotional safety. Never underestimate the power of positive influence. A supportive environment can strengthen your confidence, encourage healthy habits, and help you become the person you are working to become. Likewise, toxic environments can quietly destroy motivation and emotional well-being over time. The people around you matter. Your environment matters. Your peace matters. You deserve relationships that encourage your growth instead of sabotaging it. You deserve friendships rooted in honesty, encouragement, and respect. You deserve environments that support your healing instead of constantly reopening emotional wounds. As you continue building a healthier, more confident life, remember that wellness is not meant to happen entirely alone. Healthy support systems matter. Positive influences matter. Loving relationships matter. Most importantly, remember that you also have the power to become a positive influence in the lives of others. Your healing, kindness, growth, and authenticity may inspire someone else to begin believing in themselves again. The healthier you become emotionally, mentally, and physically, the more light you bring into the environments around you. Confidence grows stronger when it is supported by healthy relationships, peaceful environments, and people who genuinely want to see you thrive. And when your life becomes filled with encouragement, respect, and emotional honesty, wellness no longer feels like a lonely journey. It becomes a shared experience, rooted in growth, connection, and hope. Chapter 9: Building a Lifestyle That Feels Good from the Inside Out. Many people begin their wellness journey filled with excitement and motivation. They promise themselves that this time will be different. They set goals, create plans, buy workout clothes, organize schedules, and imagine the person they hope to become. For a short time, everything feels inspiring. But eventually, life becomes busy, motivation fades, stress appears, and old habits slowly return. This cycle leaves many people frustrated and discouraged. The truth is that motivation alone is never enough to create lasting transformation. Motivation is powerful, but it is temporary. Some days you will feel inspired and energized. Other days you will feel tired, distracted, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained. If your wellness depends entirely on motivation, consistency becomes difficult because emotions constantly change. This is why true transformation happens when wellness becomes a lifestyle rather than a temporary phase. A healthy lifestyle is not built on extreme bursts of perfection followed by burnout. It is built through sustainable habits, emotional balance, patience, and daily choices that support your long-term well-being. Wellness is not something you do for a few weeks before returning to old patterns. It is a lifelong relationship with yourself. It is the way you care for your body, protect your peace, manage your stress, nourish your mind, and structure your daily life. When wellness becomes part of your identity, instead of a temporary challenge, confidence begins growing naturally from the inside out. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to maintain healthy habits is because they approach wellness with an all-or-nothing mindset. They believe they must either be completely disciplined or completely failing. If they miss one workout, eat one unhealthy meal, or have one stressful week, they feel defeated and abandon their progress entirely. But real wellness is not built through perfection. It is built through balance. Balance allows room for growth without emotional punishment. It understands that healthy living includes flexibility, rest, enjoyment, and compassion. A balanced lifestyle is sustainable because it fits real life instead of fighting against it. Creating balance means learning moderation instead of extremes. Extreme approaches often create temporary results, but long-term frustration. People who constantly swing between strict discipline and complete burnout often feel emotionally exhausted because their lifestyle is impossible to maintain. Moderation creates freedom. It allows you to enjoy life while still protecting your health and goals. It teaches you that wellness does not require obsession. You do not need to punish yourself to become healthier. You do not need to control every detail of your life to make progress. A balanced lifestyle understands that one unhealthy choice does not erase your growth. One difficult day does not mean failure. Wellness is built through repeated patterns over time, not isolated moments. Learning this truth helps remove the guilt and pressure that often destroy consistency. Many people unknowingly create lifestyles that constantly work against their peace. Their schedules are chaotic, their environments are stressful, their habits are exhausting, and their minds rarely get time to rest. Over time, this imbalance affects confidence, emotional wellness, and overall quality of life. Structuring your life around health and peace is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. This means becoming intentional about the way you spend your time, energy, and attention. It means building routines and environments that support the person you are becoming. A peaceful lifestyle does not happen accidentally. It is created through intentional choices. It may involve simplifying your schedule, protecting your sleep, eating more nourishing foods, spending time with healthier people, creating boundaries around stress, or making time for movement and emotional recovery. Peace is deeply connected to wellness. When your life constantly feels rushed, overwhelming, or emotionally chaotic, it becomes difficult to feel healthy from the inside out. But when your routines support calmness, clarity, and balance, confidence begins to grow naturally, because your mind and body no longer feel like they are constantly fighting to survive. Financial wellness also plays an important role in emotional health and stress reduction. Money itself does not create happiness, but financial stress can deeply affect mental well-being. Constant worry about bills, debt, instability, or lack of security often creates anxiety, tension, and emotional exhaustion. Part of building a healthier lifestyle involves learning healthier financial habits as well. This does not mean becoming wealthy overnight. It means becoming more intentional with spending, planning, saving, and reducing unnecessary financial pressure where possible. Financial wellness creates peace because it reduces constant emotional strain. Even small financial improvements can increase confidence because they create a greater sense of control and stability. Learning discipline with money often strengthens discipline in other areas of life too. It is important to remember that wellness is not only physical. A truly healthy life includes emotional peace, financial stability, healthy relationships, mental clarity, and balance. All these areas work together to shape your overall well-being. Your environment also has a major impact on your mindset. Cluttered, chaotic, or stressful spaces often create mental overwhelm without people realizing it. The environment surrounding you influences your focus, emotions, productivity, and peace. Organizing your environment can create emotional clarity. A clean, calm, intentional space often helps the mind feel lighter and more focused. This does not mean your life or home must become perfect. It simply means creating spaces that support peace, instead of constantly increasing stress. Even small changes in your environment can improve emotional wellness. Opening windows for fresh air, organizing your room, reducing clutter, creating calming routines, or surrounding yourself with uplifting influences can positively affect your mood and mindset. Your digital environment matters too. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, emotional negativity, and overstimulation can quietly drain your energy and attention. Creating healthier boundaries around technology often improves mental clarity and emotional peace significantly. The healthier your environment becomes, the easier it is to maintain healthy habits. Your surroundings should support your growth, rather than constantly distracting or overwhelming you. Confidence also develops through consistency. Many people think confidence appears suddenly after major success or transformation, but lasting confidence is usually built quietly through repeated daily actions. Every healthy choice strengthens your trust in yourself. Every promise you keep to yourself reinforces self-respect. Consistency builds self-belief because it creates evidence that you are capable of showing up for yourself even when life becomes difficult. You begin seeing yourself differently because your actions are aligned with the person you want to become. This is why small habits matter so much. Drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, moving your body, protecting your peace, organizing your environment, and managing stress may seem simple individually, but together they create a powerful lifestyle foundation. The goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to become consistent enough that healthy living feels natural instead of forced. Over time, these repeated actions become part of your identity. You stop feeling like someone who is trying to be healthy and begin becoming someone who naturally values wellness. One of the most important lessons in this journey is learning how to celebrate progress without perfectionism. Perfectionism destroys joy because it constantly focuses on what is missing, instead of appreciating growth. Many people achieve incredible progress, yet still feel dissatisfied because they only notice imperfections. Perfectionism often creates emotional exhaustion because nothing ever feels good enough. Even success becomes stressful because the mind immediately searches for flaws or new pressures. This mindset prevents people from enjoying their growth and appreciating how far they have come. Celebrating progress is essential for long-term motivation and confidence. Every healthy decision matters. Every difficult day you survived matters. Every moment you chose growth instead of giving up matters. Transformation happens gradually, and learning to acknowledge small victories keeps you emotionally encouraged during the process. Your wellness journey will never be completely perfect. There will be difficult seasons, stressful days, emotional setbacks, and moments where you feel discouraged. But those moments do not erase your progress. Healing and growth are not linear. Some days your best may look different than others, and that is okay. Wellness is not about performing perfectly every day. It is about continuing to care for yourself consistently, even when life feels challenging. A lifestyle that feels good from the inside out is not built through punishment, obsession, or unrealistic pressure. It is built through balance, peace, consistency, and self-respect. It is a life where your habits support your well-being, instead of constantly draining it. As your lifestyle changes, you may notice something powerful happening within you. Your confidence begins feeling more natural. You stop relying so heavily on outside validation, because your life itself starts reflecting care, discipline, balance, and emotional wellness. You feel stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically, because you are no longer constantly working against yourself. You begin waking up with more peace because your routines support your health. You begin feeling more emotionally balanced because your life contains more structure and intention. You begin trusting yourself more because your daily actions align with your goals and values. This kind of confidence is powerful because it is rooted in lifestyle, not temporary emotions. It is built from the inside out through repeated acts of self-care and self-respect. You deserve a life that feels peaceful, healthy, and fulfilling. You deserve routines that support your growth instead of destroying your energy. You deserve balance instead of constant emotional chaos. Most importantly, you deserve to experience wellness as something joyful and sustainable, rather than stressful and exhausting. Every healthy choice you make is helping create a future version of yourself who feels calmer, stronger, more confident, and more emotionally free. That transformation may not happen overnight, but it is happening every time you choose progress over perfection and consistency over extremes. A healthy lifestyle is not about becoming someone entirely different. It is about becoming more connected to the healthiest, strongest, and most authentic version of who you already are. Chapter 10: Becoming the best version of yourself. Becoming the best version of yourself is not about becoming perfect. It is not about reaching a point where you never struggle, never fail, or never experience insecurity again. True transformation is much deeper than perfection. It is about growth. It is about becoming healthier mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, while learning to live with greater confidence, purpose, and self-respect. Many people spend years chasing success based on society's expectations, instead of discovering what truly fulfills them. They compare themselves to other people's lives, careers, appearances, relationships, or achievements, and begin believing they are falling behind. But one of the most freeing lessons in life is realizing that success is personal. Your journey does not need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. Defining success on your own terms is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect. For some people, success may mean building financial stability. For others, it may mean emotional healing, peace of mind, stronger relationships, improved health, or simply learning how to love themselves again. Real success is not only measured by money, popularity, or external achievements. It is measured by the quality of your life, the health of your mind, the peace in your heart, and the alignment between your values and your daily actions. Many people achieve external success while secretly feeling emotionally exhausted, disconnected, or unhappy. They spend their lives trying to impress others while neglecting their own wellness. But true fulfillment happens when your life reflects balance, purpose, and authenticity, instead of constant performance and pressure. Wellness plays a major role in personal growth, because growth becomes much more possible when your mind and body are healthy. When you begin caring for yourself consistently, you create the energy, clarity, and emotional stability needed to pursue your goals and become the person you want to be. Personal growth is not about becoming someone entirely different. It is about uncovering the strongest, healthiest, most authentic version of who you already are. Many people lose themselves over time because of fear, insecurity, emotional wounds, or unhealthy environments. They forget their potential because survival becomes their main focus. But healing changes people. Wellness changes people. Confidence changes people. The more you care for yourself, the more you begin reconnecting with the person you were always capable of becoming. One of the most important things you can build during this journey is long-term confidence and self-trust. Confidence is not created in one dramatic moment. It is built slowly through repeated acts of discipline, healing, courage, and self-respect. Self-trust grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. It grows when you continue showing up, even after difficult days. It grows when you stop abandoning yourself during hard moments and start responding with patience instead of self-destruction. Many people struggle with confidence because they no longer trust themselves. Years of broken promises, self-neglect, fear, or inconsistency have weakened their belief in their own abilities. But self-trust can always be rebuilt. Every healthy decision becomes evidence that you are capable of change. The more consistent you become, the stronger your confidence grows. You begin realizing that you are more resilient, disciplined, and capable than you once believed. Over time, confidence stops feeling forced because it becomes rooted in lived experience rather than temporary emotion. One of the greatest obstacles to becoming your best self is fear. Fear keeps many people trapped in lives that no longer fulfill them. Fear of failure, rejection, judgment, embarrassment, or disappointment often prevents people from taking the steps necessary for growth. Fear tells people to stay comfortable, even when comfort is quietly destroying their happiness. It convinces them they are not capable, not attractive enough, not talented enough, or not worthy enough to pursue the life they truly desire. Comparison also feeds insecurity. Many people spend so much time watching other people's progress that they stop appreciating their own. Social media and modern culture constantly encourage comparison, making people feel like they are behind in life if they are not achieving success quickly enough. But comparison is dangerous because every person's journey is different. People grow at different speeds. Some bloom early while others discover their strength later in life. Comparing your path to someone else's only distracts you from your own growth. The truth is that your journey belongs to you. Your purpose, experiences, challenges, and timeline are unique. Confidence grows when you stop trying to compete with everyone else and start focusing on becoming better than you were yesterday. Self-doubt is another challenge many people must overcome. There will always be moments when you question yourself. There will be times when growth feels slow, goals feel distant, or insecurities try to return. But self-doubt does not have to control your future. Courage is not the absence of fear or doubt. Courage is moving forward despite them. The strongest people are not those who never feel uncertain. They are the ones who continue growing even while uncertainty exists. Developing purpose and direction is another important part of becoming your best self. Without purpose, many people feel lost, disconnected, or emotionally empty. They move through life, reacting to circumstances, instead of intentionally creating a meaningful future. Purpose gives life direction. It creates motivation that goes deeper than temporary emotion. Purpose reminds you that your life matters, and that your growth has meaning beyond appearances or outside approval. Purpose does not always appear suddenly. Sometimes it develops gradually through experience, healing, and self-discovery. Often purpose is found by paying attention to what brings you fulfillment, peace, excitement, and meaning. For some people, purpose may involve helping others. For others, it may involve building a healthier family, creating art, growing spiritually, improving their health, pursuing education, starting a business, or simply becoming a more emotionally healthy person. Your purpose does not need to look impressive to others to be valuable. A meaningful life is not built through constant comparison or performance. It is built through intentional living and alignment with your values. As you continue growing, you will also become emotionally, mentally, and physically stronger. Wellness transforms every area of life because true health affects more than appearance. Emotional strength helps you recover from setbacks. Mental strength helps you stay focused during difficult seasons. Physical strength improves energy, confidence, and resilience. The challenges you survive often become the foundation of your strength. Every difficult season teaches lessons that comfort could never teach. Pain, disappointment, failure, and struggle can either break a person or shape them into someone wiser and stronger. Growth does not mean your life becomes free of problems. It means you become better equipped to handle them. You learn how to protect your peace, regulate your emotions, and continue moving forward without losing yourself completely during difficult moments. One of the most beautiful parts of transformation is realizing that your growth inspires others. Many people underestimate how powerful their healing journey can become. When you begin prioritizing wellness, confidence, discipline, and emotional health, other people notice. Sometimes your growth gives others permission to believe in themselves again. Your discipline may inspire someone to take care of their health. Your emotional healing may encourage someone else to seek peace. Your confidence may remind others that change is possible. You do not need to become famous to make an impact. Simply becoming healthier, kinder, more emotionally balanced, and more authentic can positively influence the people around you. Your transformation becomes proof that healing and growth are possible, even after difficult seasons. Living with intention is one of the most powerful ways to create a fulfilling life. Intentional living means making choices that align with the future you want, instead of constantly reacting emotionally or impulsively. It means becoming aware of how your habits, environment, relationships, and mindset are shaping your life. Intentional people understand that every decision matters. The food you eat, the people you surround yourself with, the way you speak to yourself, the routines you practice, and the boundaries you create all influence your future. Living intentionally also means protecting your self-respect. Self-respect grows when your actions align with your values. It grows when you stop abandoning yourself for temporary comfort, approval, or unhealthy habits. It strengthens when you consistently choose growth over self-destruction. Self-respect changes everything. It changes the way you carry yourself, the relationships you tolerate, the goals you pursue, and the habits you practice daily. Once you begin valuing yourself deeply, you stop settling for things that constantly damage your peace and well-being. Most importantly, becoming your best self requires embracing lifelong wellness and self-improvement. Growth does not end after one achievement or one transformation. Wellness is a lifelong journey of learning, healing, improving, and evolving. There will always be new lessons to learn, new habits to strengthen, and new levels of growth to reach. But this should not feel overwhelming. It should feel exciting because it means your life always contains opportunities for renewal and progress. You are never too late to grow. You are never too broken to heal. You are never too far behind to begin becoming healthier, stronger, and more confident. The best version of yourself is not a flawless person who never struggles. It is a person who continues choosing growth despite imperfections. It is someone who learns from setbacks instead of surrendering to them. It is someone who treats themselves with compassion while still striving to improve. Every healthy decision you make is shaping your future. Every moment you choose peace over chaos, discipline over self-neglect, and self-respect over insecurity, is helping create the life you deserve. As you continue this journey, remember that confidence is not something you chase endlessly outside yourself. It is something you build from within through wellness, consistency, emotional growth, and intentional living. You already carry the potential to become stronger, healthier, wiser, and more fulfilled than you have ever been before. The journey will require patience, courage, and commitment, but it will also lead you toward a life that feels more peaceful, authentic, and meaningful. Becoming the best version of yourself is not about becoming someone else. It is about finally becoming fully connected to the person you were always meant to be. Conclusion: confidence looks better when it's healthy. True confidence has never been about perfection. It has never belonged only to people with flawless appearances, perfect bodies, endless money, or ideal lives. Real confidence is something much deeper, stronger, and more lasting. It is built from the inside out through the way you care for yourself, respect yourself, and choose to live each day. Throughout this journey, one truth has remained clear: wellness and confidence are deeply connected. The healthier you become mentally, emotionally, and physically, the more naturally your confidence begins to grow. Not because you suddenly become perfect, but because you begin developing a healthier relationship with yourself. Confidence is not created through self-hatred, punishment, or constant comparison. It grows through self-respect. It strengthens when you nourish your body, protect your peace, move with purpose, rest without guilt, and choose habits that support your long-term well-being. Every healthy choice becomes a message to yourself that you matter. Many people spend years searching for confidence in external things. They believe confidence will finally arrive after weight loss, success, approval, relationships, popularity, or physical transformation. But external achievements alone can never fully heal internal insecurity. Lasting confidence begins with how you feel about yourself when nobody else is watching. The way you speak to yourself matters. The way you care for your body matters. The way you protect your emotional health matters. Confidence grows quietly every time you choose wellness over self-destruction, discipline over excuses, and self-care over neglect. True attractiveness has very little to do with perfection, and everything to do with energy, authenticity, emotional peace, and self-respect. People are naturally drawn toward those who feel comfortable in their own skin. There is something powerful about a person who radiates confidence because they have learned to value themselves beyond appearance alone. This kind of confidence cannot be purchased, filtered, or faked. It comes from healing. It comes from growth. It comes from learning how to take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally, even during difficult seasons. Healthy living offers benefits that go far beyond physical appearance. Yes, your body may become stronger, your skin healthier, and your energy higher. But the deeper transformation happens internally. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotional resilience strengthens. Your stress becomes more manageable. Your self-esteem improves because you begin trusting yourself more. Wellness changes the way you experience life. You begin waking up with more energy and peace. You become more emotionally balanced during stressful situations. Your focus improves. Your relationships become healthier because you no longer rely entirely on outside validation to feel valuable. You stop constantly chasing temporary approval because your confidence becomes rooted in something deeper than appearance or public opinion. You begin building a life that actually feels good from the inside out. One of the most important lessons to remember is that growth takes time. Transformation is rarely immediate. There will still be difficult days, moments of insecurity, emotional setbacks, and seasons where motivation feels low. That does not mean you are failing. Healing and wellness are lifelong journeys, not overnight events. You do not need to become perfect to be proud of yourself. You do not need to have everything figured out before you deserve confidence, peace, or happiness. Progress matters far more than perfection ever will. Every small, healthy decision matters. Every moment you choose growth instead of giving up matters. Every time you drink more water, move your body, protect your peace, speak kindly to yourself, set boundaries, get proper rest, or continue trying after setbacks, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. The healthiest and most confident people are not usually those who changed overnight. They are the people who kept choosing themselves repeatedly, even when progress felt slow. It is also important to accept your imperfections while still pursuing growth. You are human. There will always be areas where you continue learning, healing, and improving. No person reaches a final stage of perfection where insecurities completely disappear forever. But confidence grows when you stop allowing imperfections to define your worth. You can acknowledge areas where growth is needed without attacking yourself in the process. You can improve your life while still appreciating yourself along the way. Self-acceptance and self-improvement can exist together. In fact, the healthiest growth often happens when change is motivated by self-love instead of shame. When you genuinely value yourself, you naturally begin making choices that protect your health, energy, and peace. Choosing self-care over self-criticism is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make. Many people believe harshness creates discipline, but constant self-criticism often creates emotional exhaustion instead. People grow best in environments where encouragement, patience, and consistency exist. You deserve compassion from yourself, especially during difficult moments. Wellness is not about punishing yourself into becoming acceptable. It is about caring for yourself enough to become healthier, stronger, and more emotionally free. There will always be moments when comparison tries to return. Social media, outside opinions, and unrealistic standards may still attempt to convince you that you are not enough. During those moments, remember that your worth has never depended on being identical to someone else. Your journey is your own. Your body is your own. Your growth is your own. The goal is not to become a copy of another person. The goal is to become the healthiest, strongest, and most authentic version of yourself. Confidence is built daily. It is created through repeated choices that align with wellness, self-respect, and emotional growth. It is built when you keep promises to yourself. It strengthens when you continue showing up during difficult seasons. It grows every time you refuse to give up on yourself. Some days confidence may feel strong. Other days it may feel quieter. But each healthy decision adds another layer of strength to your foundation. Over time, those small decisions create a life rooted in peace, balance, and authenticity. You are capable of becoming healthier mentally, emotionally, and physically than you have ever been before. You are capable of rebuilding your confidence, no matter how long insecurity has existed. You are capable of healing your relationship with yourself, even if you have spent years struggling with self-doubt. Do not rush your growth. Real transformation takes patience. Some of the strongest changes happen slowly and quietly over time. Every healthy habit, every boundary, every moment of rest, every positive choice, and every act of self-respect is shaping your future. As you move forward, remember that wellness is not a destination where you finally become worthy. You are already worthy. Wellness is simply the ongoing act of caring for yourself in ways that allow your healthiest and most confident self to emerge naturally. The most attractive thing you can become is healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Confidence shines differently when it is supported by peace, energy, emotional strength, and authenticity. It becomes real, lasting, and deeply powerful. No matter where you are beginning from today, your future can still change. Your habits can change. Your mindset can change. Your confidence can grow. Your life can become healthier, calmer, and more fulfilling one step at a time. You do not need to become perfect to begin. You only need the courage to continue choosing yourself, again and again, every single day. Because confidence truly does look better when it's healthy. Thank you for reading this book. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave us a review. TM Light. Disclaimer. This book was created with the assistance of artificial intelligence. While every effort was made to ensure the accuracy and relevance of the content, readers should note that this cannot be considered professional advice. Readers are encouraged to apply their own judgment and consult experts where needed.